Right, welcome to the fourth of the design updates, talking about Project GODUS, and as usual, we're going to go through your questions, and then we're going to talk about followers, and if we've got time, we're going to talk about familiars and stuff like that. You're not very well, Jack.
No, I don't know what's come over me.
Is it food poisoning?
I don't think so. I haven't eaten anything yet.
You haven't eaten anything. All right, what did you eat last night? Because I had food poisoning over the
I
weekend.
had pizza last night.
Was it one of those warmed up pizzas?
No, it was hot to my door.
Was it? And
Hot to the work, actually.
Was it? Whose pizza was it?
I can't say that.
What are you worried about being sued?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm.
Oh, okay. Domino's pizzas. Anyway, let's do a bit before
Okay.
you throw up. Let's do it. If you do throw up, we'll stop the filming, obviously.
Yeah, we'll put a slow motion
But
filter on.
you know, it's talking about followers and they get sick, so
Exactly.
it might be a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. So, what are our questions? What are our feedback?
Okay, so people had been wondering a little bit about. They're wondering if there was much emphasis on like a good evil affinity, like black and white. Is it going to be, or even fable? Is it going to be like your on that borderline good evil, or is it going to be a bit more fluid, a bit more of a larger spectrum?
Spectrum, yes. Well, of course, in the original Populous, we had you either played the evil tribe or the good tribe. The only way we really did that was it was either blue people or red people. Obviously, we wanted a bit more than that in GODUS. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure the amount of suffering that your little people have and the amount of benefit that you give them as a god. And that's how we're going to measure good and evil. And that's a thing that we experimented with in Black and White and in Fable, indeed in Fable. So it's definitely going to be a scale. We're going to be able to see how many evil people there are in the world because we've got servers now and we can say, yeah, you know, GODUS, the world is trending to evil or trending to good. So it's a scale.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And also people were wondering, is it more kind of a emphasis on the black and white kind of sandboxy world, or is it primarily a strategy game like Populous, or is it a mix?
Yeah, so this is the thing which I think you may find hard to believe. I think it's an immensely deep strategy game. You're building you're growing your civilization up. You're encouraging your people. Those people are power. Those people will be able to go to war. Those people will be able to give you belief. That all sounds strategy-ish, but also because we've got this home world which is initially very peaceful. It's a sandbox, and that's the beauty of it. The sandbox gives you the resources to use in the strategy game of multiplayer against your friends, multiplayer against strangers, or the single-player campaign. So it's both, and you know, it's a little bit of RTS in there. You know, I loved RTSs. You know, Command and Conquer Red Alert and Warcraft, and I loved those games. I played them for hours and hours and hours, but there hasn't been any. I mean, there's StarCraft, but you have to have 300 key presses a minute to actually even hope to survive StarCraft. So there is a little bit of RTS in there as well, and I love the depth. I love you using the landscape as well as using Gift of the Gods, as well as using some of the kinder powers strategically against the problems that your people face. Remember, they don't only, in the single player campaign especially, they don't only face problems of marauding tribes attacking them, they also face the problems of the elements.
Well, what's also kind of interesting with Populous and also GODUS is that it's not that you're you're not directly telling these followers do this, do that. In fact, your influence is trying to influence the world around them in order to kind of manipulate them into carrying your will.
Of course, the which we haven't talked about at all.
Yep, that's on our totems.
Yeah,
the one power where you can affect free will.
Can affect free will, exactly. And do we really have free will? What's your view on that?
You mean philosophy?
In life, yeah.
Well, if a tree breaks, does it make a sound if no one's around? some
Is that
nonsense.
to do with free will?
I don't know.
I don't think The question is, do we have free will?
You mean do we believe in fate?
Or do you believe that your life is either like a program? It is inevitable, absolutely inevitable, that A leads to B leads to C leads to D, or that every moment is just random? Is that you have choices in your life? Which of the two things do you believe in?
Well, I think with GODUS, we're not going to be giving an answer, but just raising questions on that philosophy.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I like that philosophy. But what's your answer?
Well, I'm sure I'll find my answer through my experiences with
Well,
GODUS.
I'll tell you. Sadly and unfortunately, the debate is simple. We don't have any free will. I'm sorry. We're just machines A, B, C, D. That's going to be contentious. Anyway, was there a third question?
Well, I was just going to pick up on the idea of the strategic elements of GODUS, which is that ideally, if you are someone who's not really into the multiplayer and competitive thing, you can literally just play the whole game in Homeworld, and you're not going to be jumping in and out.
No, that's true. Absolutely true. You can play the whole game in Homeworld. Yeah, I know there are some people, and sometimes I'm like this, who don't want to face the kind of embarrassment, if you like, of going into multiplayer. They may just stick in Homeworld and be very happy to spread their people out and gain resources. Or they may be a turtle, and I'm a real turtle. I love building up this massive force so I can go and just totally annihilate things, especially in the single-player campaign. Can we talk about followers?
Yes.
Right. So followers they're your little people. We're going to have to move the camera down to these sheets of paper now. So, and that means Jack can easily throw up without being seen on camera. Followers, here we are. We've got this artwork. Remember, we're working on this prototype at the moment. As you can see in this shot, look at what these followers are doing. They have certain behaviour, and that behaviour is dictated by what's going on around them. And in this example, they're in panic. Pen doesn't work. Panic mode. In other words, they are running away from danger. They've got little personalities. We really love this idea that, when if they're panicking or if they're walking, and they're not all the same. They've all got little personalities. Also, each one of these are going to have a name, and they're going to have a little bit of a history to it. I know that sounds silly, but I love that detail in the world. And if these people are your friends from your Facebook account, for example, it just adds to the value. If this is my sister, or if this is my wife, I'm going to really look after her. If it's someone that's just beaten me at football, not that I ever play football, but if it was, then I'd probably just squish them. So they really do have a personality, and they really do have very interesting behaviour, but understandable behaviour. And so let's just move over and look at another shot. This one is more peaceful. In here, this is where the followers have started to settle. And this is a key thing to the game, is that if you give them the land, they will settle and they'll make a village, and that village will turn into a town, and that town will turn into a city. And that works under very simple rules. That each of these houses, the more space they have around them, the bigger that house will be. Also, each of the houses get a bonus for being higher up, so it's better to spread your people out over the landscape rather than having flat, boring landscapes. And then the older a house is, the taller it's built up. And you can see that there's really interesting structures. And we'll talk to Paul, and he'll show you some concept shots about being inspired by cities in our world. Also, on top of that, we really want to put in, and this is where the humour comes in. And I'm going to cover, these are 3 ideas I want your feedback directly on about whether or not it's a good idea. And so let's talk about 3 characters. And these are characters which you will find, these are little bonuses in the game. Each of these characters are like little tiny challenges that give you, if you complete the challenge, they will give you a huge belief bonus. Those 3 characters are, there's someone called Immortal Bob, there's Suicidal Sid, and Fragile Fiona. These are my names. It's just an idea in my mind, by the way. I want your feedback to say whether it's a good idea. Each one of these little characters will come out when your town reaches a certain kind of level. So everyone's going to get one of these characters. Now, let's talk through what these characters do. Immortal Bob is almost utterly, completely indestructible. You can squash him, you can throw him in lava, you can try and drown him in the sea, you can throw him off the side of a mountaintop. Every time you do, you'll have this amazingly funny lines where he says, "Oh, that didn't hurt, you need to prove it." It's an idea directly from Black and White. "Oh, I've just broken my arm." You have to find the way to kill off Immortal Bob. Otherwise, and to get that belief bonus. He's like a little plaything. And then we've got Fragile Fiona. She's the opposite. The merest shock of any description, she'll just keel over and die. I've had a heart attack. It's directly inspired from Monty Python. If you can keep her alive, long enough without her tripping over something, without she could be shocked by some effect going off, you'll get a belief bonus. And then lastly is Suicidal Sid, who just wants to end it all. He will rush towards the nearest cliff edge and throw himself off like a lemming. He'll dive into the nearest water and try and drown himself. If you can keep him alive, you'll get another belief bonus. These characters all appear in Homeworld. Is that a good idea? Is it? I love the humour side of it. Is it trivial? Is it too silly? Please give us your feedback. Anyway, in summary, for your followers, give you belief. The more you spread them out over the mountains and the more you encourage them, the more belief they're going to give you. They're also the resource that you can use and build into armies and go out, and they've got really great personalities. We've run out of time to talk about familiars and pets, so we're going to pick that up again tomorrow. And also tomorrow, we're just going to summarise everything that we've talked about over the week, and we're going to start looking at Jack's fantastic design doc. How's that going, Jack?
Swimmingly.
It's a lie, isn't it?
If you can't see me, it doesn't count.
No, let me answer. Have you started it?
I've started thinking about it.
You started thinking about it. Right. If everybody could... what's your Twitter account?
@Giacomofo without C.
@Giacomofo. Just tweet Jack and tell him to please do the document. Of course, he's trying to throw a sickie. I know he hates doing documents, but there you go. Anyway, thank you very much again for following Kickstarter. We do need your pledges. We're really worried now that it's our Kickstarter campaign is slowing down. We need you to tell your friends. We need you to really passionately go out there and try and get more people involved, because we really want to make a great game. Thank you very much.